Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something pretty intense. Fraud. It's everywhere, right? We see it in the news, we hear stories from friends, and honestly, it's a bit crazy how it's evolved over time.
So let's unpack this together. And I hope you'll stick around for the whole thing because there's a lot to reflect on. So, let's start with some historical examples. One that really stands out is Oscar Hartzell. This guy was a master con artist. I mean, he had this whole confidence scam going on back in the early 20th century. He started small but then turned it into this massive fraud scheme that, honestly, shocked everyone.
Can you imagine being part of that? The thrill, the rush of pulling off something so bold. But, of course, there's a dark side. He left a trail of devastation behind him. People lost their savings, their trust. It's just heartbreaking.
And then there's the ancient case of Hegestratos. He was involved in this Bottomry insurance scheme, which sounds complicated, but it's basically a way for ship owners to secure loans based on their cargo. Hegestratos manipulated it, and wow, the consequences were huge. He ended up facing serious repercussions, and it really makes you think about how far people will go for a quick gain. What drives someone to risk everything? It's mind-boggling. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the word fraud. It's fascinating how it evolved. The term has roots in the English language and traces back to ancient Rome.
They have their own scams too, which just goes to show that this isn't a new problem. It's been around forever. It's almost comforting in a weird way, like we're not alone in this mess.
And speaking of representations, let's look at how artists have depicted fraud over the centuries. Cesare Ripa in the 17th century had this unique take on fraud as a figure. It's like he captured the essence of deceit in a way that still resonates today. Her attributes, her characteristics, they symbolize so much of what we see in our world.
Then there's Leonard of Richmond, who reinterpreted this concept in modern times. He highlights how contemporary figures embody these traits. It's wild to see how the portrayal of fraud has changed, yet the core remains the same.
It's like a reminder that we need to stay vigilant. So, as we wrap this up, let's reflect on what we've learned. Fraud is enduring, it adapts, and it challenges us to be more aware.
It's easy to get caught up in our daily lives and forget about the potential risks. But, we really need to educate ourselves, be informed. And honestly, I'm grateful for this conversation. It's cathartic to talk about these heavy subjects, you know. It reminds me to keep my eyes open and to stay skeptical when something seems too good to be true.
We can all take something positive from this. Maybe it's a bit of awareness or just a nudge to trust our instincts. So, if you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and drop a comment below.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on fraud and any experiences you might want to share. Remember, staying informed is key, and together, we can navigate this tricky world. Thanks for being here, and see you in the next one.